The Major Arena Soccer League is proud to welcome you to MASL Soccer on MASL TV. MITRE is the official game ball supplier of the Major Arena Soccer League. Established in 1817, MITRE is one of the leading soccer brands worldwide and produces some of the best soccer balls in the world. Learn more at mitre.com.
It is the Kansas City Comets and the St. Louis Ambush. Hi again, everybody. I'm Nick Vassos alongside my broadcast partner, Eric Bergrud, along with Lux. We'll check in with her on the sidelines coming up in just a moment. Game 2, two-game set this series following the Thanksgiving holiday. Hope you guys had a great one, maybe enjoying a turkey sandwich tonight. Kansas City winning the first leg of this game 7-3 in St. Louis on Black Friday. And the series now turns to Kansas City, where these two teams will play the second of 6 games against one another. There are a lot of changes for the Comets since game number 1, Eric, and there are some notable players that will not be playing on the blue turf tonight.
So both teams have changes, and actually you saw Dom Francis warm up with the team. He was a healthy scratch, so we thought he was going to play. He didn't play. 4 changes for the Comets. Out are Dom Francis, Leo Acosta, who was red carded last night, Ignacio Flores, the captain, Zach Reget will be captain today, and Marcel Berry. They're taking it a little easy on him in terms of these back-to-back games. In their place, Ramon Palmer, Nathan Dirtle, Stefan Mijatovic, and Rian Marques off his 1-game suspension.
One other addition for the Comets is Mikey Lennis is not here tonight. He's getting married, so congratulations, Mikey Lennis.
That's called an excused absence, right?
I think it is.
And a few changes for St. Louis. We talked with assistant coach, general manager Donnie Alberti. We're going to see some young players today. Larson Rogers and Mario Falsoni, and then any fans from UCFC might remember Keaton Woods. He's getting a call up to the top 16 today too. Yeah, so Keaton Woods will be back there. Robbie Cristo is not in the lineup. They're not sure when he might return. Also on Friday night they played without Axel Chiconte and Zach Drouet, but they're in the lineup tonight. So St. Louis is getting Kansas City's losing some players, but the good news for the Comets, if you've been following him during the leading up to the opener, and that is they have a very deep team this year. So Stefan Stokic, head coach of the Comets, has a lot of options for him in front of him. We are underway. Kansas City wearing their home reds, and it is Zach Reget playing it back to Guerrero Pino. The Comets, 16 blocks on Friday night. They were led by Lucia Tetsane's 6 blocks. Chad Vandergriff had 4 blocks as well. You talked about the Comets' depth. We're going to see St. Louis's depth because out tonight, James Thomas, JT, picked up a little knock in the game. He didn't make the trip, and neither did Lucas Almeida, who led the league in assists last year, the pass master. In fact, his assist last night on Duduka's goal, his 150th all-time. So congratulations to Lucas. Oh, my goodness. All right, just underway. St. Louis wearing their white uniforms, trimmed in teal with pink numbers on the back. Robert Williamson slowly walks it up. The Comets defense drops back behind the half line. Over to James Togba, who spent 5 years playing in a Comet uniform, rolls it into an open corner. Axel Chiconte goes down, and he's double-teamed immediately by Vandergriff and Sousa. And Chiconte back out in front to Togba. Togba touches it up to Williamson. Now near side, it comes to Keaton Woods. Here's the St. Louis newcomer. His drive off the feet of DeBray Holloman and all the way back to their keeper, Paulo Nascimento. Paulo played last night, and he'll go again today. Made some more big saves. He loves playing in this arena, and feel like a broken record. He loves scoring goals in this arena, Nick. We'll see if he gets a chance. He sure does. Paulo stopped or allowed 6 goals on 13 shots. Took the loss last night. These two teams, for the Comets, 6 of their first 10 are going to be against St. Louis. So by the end of that 6th game, they should know the ambush very well. Into the corner for Chiconte. Marked by Vandergriff. Chiconte dribbles it away from the goal. First home game of the season here for Kansas City, back on the blue turf. Comets have high expectations this year. You might remember last year, St. Louis took the Chihuahua Savage to the very end of the quarterfinals before Chihuahua just barely got past St. Louis
in the Ron Newman Cup playoffs last year. They had a really good run in the playoffs. Here's Stefan Mijatovic. He's playing. He had a bit of a hamstring injury leading up to this game. Forward it goes to Rian Marques, who sat out last night's game because of a red card. Now both teams fight forward in the midfield area. And it's taken away by the Comets. Henry Ramirez. Here he is across the half line. Forward to Rian. Marques drives one in there. That one off of Zach Reget. And St. Louis gets a couple of touches on it. And then a foul is called by referee Brian Miller. Brian Miller and Ryan Sigich are teaming up tonight to be part of our referee crew, along with Kyle Armstrong, the assistant referee. Luis Cuillo is the fourth official, and Nick Guerrero is in the penalties.
One of the league announcements that, I don't know if it's officially come out, I know about it, is Brian Martin is retiring as a referee this season. He's watching the game in the stands, and Ryan Sigich has promised that he will schedule both Bryans for a game here at Cable Dahmer Arena. So Brian Miller and I have got plans when that's announced.
Nightmare realized for this announcer right here. Torrealba sends it into the corner. Torrealba was the player that... Now hold that thought for a second, Nick. Here is Anderaos, turns, fires, save! Wow! Paulo, full extension, keeps that one from tickling the twine.
I think Anderaos is feeling it after last night. Had two, could have had a third.
No kidding. Anderaos, 2 goals and an assist last night. Same with Zach Reget. He had 2 goals and an assist. Torrealba, yeah, he and Acosta were battling throughout the game, and Acosta, as you saw in last night's broadcast, threw an elbow and hit Torrealba, and that was an immediate red card for Acosta, who's out for tonight and maybe out for longer. We'll see. Comets defense in their last third. Pino's got the ball. He plays it to Ejimadu. You know, the Comets still have Nicolau Neto as one of their keepers, but Julio Coronado has been thrust into the backup role here today.
Saw Julio play at the end of last season at Baltimore. He's a good young goalkeeper. This is a good problem to have, 3 goalkeepers that you can dress game in, game out.
Here's St. Louis trying to get it across the line. Vandergrift comes over, slides, knocks it away. Souza is out with it. Souza leaves it out for Ramon Palmer, who drives one into the corner, and it comes back to Chacunte of St. Louis. Souza gets it back, moves to his right. Souza.
Good step.
That was Togba there.
And maybe a 2 here.
And could be a 2 right there, but no. They're going to keep it in their pocket. Togba now wearing that protective headgear.
Watch this defensively. Lucas Sosa loses it.
Oh, great
play
tackle
by Togba.
Yep.
And Vandergrift maybe a little late on that.
Got an official's timeout. Brian Miller making some adjustments on the boards.
Had a nice chat with Brian Miller on the field before the game. A couple things that he told me, other than he and Sigich, they don't necessarily have the same style. Calling the game, it'll be interesting to see where the fouls come from. But he set a point of emphasis there for the referees, and we saw it a lot last year. The defenders tugging on target forwards, they're going to be calling that a lot more closely. So I don't think you're going to see as much players like Duduka and Marquez and Reget and Nick Pereira getting grabbed like they were in years past.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. Some good insight there. Thank you, Eric. Under 10 to play in the first. No score between Kansas City and St. Louis. This is the only game in the MASL tonight. St. Louis drives it into the left wing corner. Vandergrift kicks it back towards the half line. Picked up by Drewy. Sent forward for Chacunte. Axel dancing on the yellow line, looking for someone to pass to. Plays it back to Williamson. Now they try to play it to Chacunte. Chacunte's the only player inside the yellow line. All the ambush players are out by the half line.
Now shades of how they played that second game here last year when St. Louis won it in overtime. A little bit more careful defensively. I'm still waiting to see what they do with Will Eske. They played pretty far back yesterday's game. They need to get him in the offense.
Yeah, he was, as you mentioned, Eric, in the pregame, SK was rather quiet in that first game on Black Friday, and we have yet to see him in this game.
He played the last shift, but
yep.
It's just sort of interesting to see how they use him today. But I think you're going to see more composed St. Louis here game 2 than maybe you saw game 1 last night.
Keaton Woods' touch lets him down, and then Guerrero Pino is tripped up on the far touchline. Jeff Michaud, the guilty party, and a foul called on Michaud.
Just a simple foul. Take away by Pino. You see him going down the field.
Pino in his 10th season, started his career in Kansas City, went to San Diego, and now has come back. Played collegiately at UMKC, just like Christian Anderaos, who passes it over to Pino.
He was coming in the arena, and somebody had the outdoors open, and it's like 32 degrees outside. It's like, man, it's cold. I'm like, hey, don't you wish you were back in San Diego again? I won't say what he told me.
Good pass to himself. It's O'Keefe down the right side. And it comes off to actually Colin O'Keefe. Now Tristan Austin on the right side, drives one in, good block by Pino. Comets are a very good shot blocking team. Vandegrift is about a dozen shy of 400 for his career, the two-time defending champion.
He had some big ones last night, including one on the goal line that for sure looked like a goal.
Yep. Got a timeout on the field, so we'll step aside with 7:28 to play in this opening quarter. Let's take a break. There is no score between St. Louis and Kansas City.
Welcome back to the Cable Dahmer Arena. Guys, it is night 2 of the Missouri matchup between the St. Louis Ambush and the Kansas City Comets. Comets took night 1 7-3. We are scoreless so far in the first period, but the action is already heating up. We're going to send it back to Nick and Eric up in the booth.
All right, thanks a lot, Lux. We'll check back with you here in just a little bit. When play gets back underway, it'll be Comets ball.
Capelli Sport is the official and exclusive preferred uniform and apparel provider of the Major Arena Soccer League. Visit MASLsoccer.com to shop the all-new MASL fan store for the latest MASL and team gear.
Chad Vandegrift on up to Sousa, and then back to Vandegrift. Chad looking for a passing partner, plays it back to Ejimadu. Phil lofts one up to Reget. Reget tried to touch it out to Sousa, who was running down the right side. That one kicked all the way towards Daduka. Daduka plays it forward to Tristan Austin. Austin goes off the boards. It comes right to Tetsane of the Comets, and then up quickly to Reget. Reget shields away the defender and plays it back to Tetsane.
So Williamson in tight with Reget. They didn't call it. We'll see whether they only do it behind the yellow line or where they're going to get a little bit stricter.
One of the newcomers, David Stankovic, on down to the corner. Vandegrift trying to give it right back to him, and then Paulo comes off his line and smothers it for the ambush. Paulo, one of those keepers who can read the game so well, makes acrobatic saves. Smart player. Here's a drive from nearly the yellow line. That one taken by Daniel Torrealba. Played last year for the Outlaws.
With David Stankovic. For Coach Eddie Puskarich.
Comets deflect the pass. Here's Will Eske. And Michaud running it up for the ambush. Ramon Palmer, who did not play in Friday night, is out there tonight. Maybe a little load management for Ramon. Torrealba into Chacunte, kicked away by Holloman of the Comets. Chacunte gets it back, fires one. That one blocked by Holloman. Comes out to Torrealba, and then eventually up to Will Eske. Torrealba, he'll fire one from long range. And that one just out of the reach of Ejimadu. Ejimadu off his line to kick it away. That one held in there by Christian Briggs of St. Louis, and out of the center circle it comes.
Already feels like a different game than last night. St. Louis absolutely made adjustments, not just in terms of lineup, but also in terms of tactics.
Chacunte with a good wall pass, looking for Torrealba. The Ambush have had some good possession here. Here's Chakunte. Couple of fakes. On over to Briggs. Briggs thought about it from distance. Instead, will play it to Keaton Woods. Woods played last year for UCFC. Did not play in Friday night's game. And then back to the center circle.
Comets play at UCFC next week, and I expect there's quite a few UCFC players, coaches, and fans watching us tonight on MASL TV.
St. Louis almost caught Kansas City on a change. Here's Togba. Togba forward. And then off the wall, out front and center. Second chance, no good. Comets there dodge some problems there. Now Christian Briggs drives one in there. Mario Fasone is getting some playing time, along with Larson Rogers.
And Fasone, we were told he's going to be a different look at target. He's still trying to figure out his place on the field. St. Louis could have had 1 or 2 goals. Just the spacing up front needs to get a little bit less compact.
Togba whistled for the foul. Got tangled up with Rian Marques. Yeah, the Ambush have 4 rookies on their team this year, and 2 of them are getting some chances tonight. Restart to the Comets. Mijatovic into the middle. Here's a shot. Ding dong off the post from Souza. First real good chance for the Comets. Barely misses. Now Mijatovic trying to play it up to Souza again. On over to Rian Marques. Moving to his left. Briggs knocked it away. Ball bounces back out in front of St. Louis's goal. And down on the log roll goes Anderaos before they're able to get it back into Paulo. Now St. Louis just trying to clear it out of their last third. DeDuca gets it over to Togba, but a little bit too far. Now back the other way. Here come the Comets. Here's Pino. Right side for Rian. Marques shoots. That one blocked by Briggs. Gets right back to Rian. Marques goes off the boards looking for someone flashing in. Anderaos was there, but blocked by an opponent. Paulo walks it out for the Ambush. Changes for both teams. Rian goes off and Jacob Larza comes back in. Garza has been playing a lot better for the Comets. He's a really strong player. Powerful shot. Pino lifts it back towards the Ambush half. 2:22 to play in this opening quarter. Man, that's flying by. No score between these two teams. Here is Eske. Eske crosses one over the box. Larson chasing and runs into Ramirez, and he fouls Henry.
MASLsoccer.com is your home for everything Major Arena Soccer League. All the latest news, leaderboards, highlights, and more. And visit kccomets.com for Comets tickets, merchandise, and news.
Want to give a shout out to Nate Herron, who is our public address announcer. He's unable to be here tonight because of a back injury. That'll make him feel a little better. Zach Reget, top shelf where Grandma keeps the cookies. Comets 1, St. Louis nothing.
I was going to say last sequence, the Comets have been using the boards quite a bit, and you saw it right here. Long ball from Pino. Off the boards. Walla. Score. One more time. Beautifully placed, too. The Comets had 2 Wallace scores yesterday, 1 today. Clearly, they've been working on that in training at the world-famous Kansas City Soccer Dome. 1-0 Comets.
Reget already 3 goals this season. Pino picks up the assist. That's number 1 for Guerrero. Comets lead 1-0 with 1:55 to play in the first quarter. St. Louis out shooting the Comets early, 8-4, but the Comets leading 1-0. Into the corner looking for Tori Alba, and Jacob Garza is there to deflect it into Ejimadu. Jacob Garza from Parkville and from Park University.
Called his games there. Watched him play at Park Hill South High School, too.
He's really made a lot of improvement in his indoor game.
He has. He's also a gym rat. That guy's solid.
James Togba, familiar with Comets fans. He spent 5 years here. And he now, of course, wears that protective headgear. That nasty fall that he took.
One of the scariest things I've ever seen in the corner right in front of us here at Cable Dahmer Arena.
And after that fall, he just didn't feel right for the rest of the season. And he wasn't sure if he was going to play anymore. So I'm really happy to see James back out there playing. He is such an incredible athlete and such a good player.
There is 1 minute remaining in the first quarter.
1 minute left. 1 minute left. Souza.
Nutmeg.
To Vandegrift. Reget. Over to Holloman. Holloman. He'll fire a shot. Save. Is made by Paulo.
Paulo got big. Actually, a pretty good placement from Holloman trying to go high on Paulo. Veteran goalkeeper. Knew what to expect.
Souza with 34 seconds on the clock. Pino comes back in for Vandegrift. Holloman up to Ramon Palmer. 24 seconds left. Into the corner goes to Reget. Reget draws a crowd. Ball poked away by Eske. 18 seconds left on the clock. Pino. Left side Souza. Souza, the left footer, moves to his left. Fires a shot. That one blocked by Williamson. 7 seconds left. Williamson chugging down the right side. Gets it over to Eske. 2 seconds left. Off the boards. Horn sounds. And that is it. That is it for the opening quarter here at Cable Dahmer Arena. Comets get a late goal in that opening frame, scored by Zach Reget, his third of the year.
I've been to a lot of those openers as a fan. Sometimes it's a good feeling going to the parking lot. Sometimes soccer is a fickle game that will break your heart, Mr. Vassos.
Well, you got that right, Eric. Eric Bergrud, Nick Vassos, Lux St. Lou, and our entire Cable Dahmer Arena crew are here, and we are happy to have you here on board. Comets turn the ball over to St. Louis.
And you see how deep Eske is playing this weekend.
The Duke has got it for the ambush. He's looking for Colin O'Keefe. Instead, over to Keaton Woods. Now Keaton Woods takes it deep into the corner. Had it poked away by Kansas City. Anderaos is out with it, dancing with it against the boards. He's double teamed, a whistle, and a foul called against St. Louis.
St. Louis has been pressing two players on one, not wanting to let the Comets get into their traditional counterattack transition games. So just sort of interesting chess games going on between the two coaching staffs.
Into the corner, it bounces out towards the top of the arc. Comets able to touch it out wide. Zach Reget on back to Pino. Reget playing the target. Accepts the pass. Is back to the goal. Flicks it back for Souza. Souza shoots. That one blocked by O'Keefe. Williamson had the ball momentarily. Comets retake possession.
A little surprised he shot that because he passed in a pretty similar situation. Wallace Squirrel last night had Tetsani in the middle, but thought he saw a good angle for an open goal.
Marques. Up top to Henry. Henry turns again, over to Rian. Rian moves to his right, chips it forward. Oh, he almost got it. Second chance by Holloman. No good. Here's Chukunte. He had it knocked away. Nascimento comes off his line. Now Marques! Marques! That first one didn't go, but his second chance made sure it went through Rian. Marques, his first of the season, celebrating he and his wife's new bundle of joy. And here it is.
All right, let's check out.
Chikunte a little too cute there in the corner. And
It's
then
the run in.
Yeah.
At first you don't succeed, try again. One more time. Another assist from Lucas Souza. It's two nights in a row. Brought the pacifier out on the field. Rub those hands, Nick Vassos. How many times have you said that over the years?
Oh, many times for Rian. Marquez was on his way to a MVP season last year, and then injuries kind of slowed him down. That's really the only thing that can slow Rian down, and that is injuries. He's such a force there in traffic in the box. Really hard to get the ball away from. Can turn in either direction. 12:48 to play in the first half. Into the corner, it goes to O'Keefe, then back out Tristan Austin. Jeff Michaud. He'll swing it left side, Christian Briggs. Now, this is Larson, excuse me. Larson Rogers, one of the 4 rookies on this Ambush team. Now Briggs, he'll shoot it up the far touchline. Oh, push there by Mijatovic, and a foul called on Stefan.
It's like, what did I do?
I mean,
I think that was pretty obvious.
You know, we don't have the best field position up here, but I saw it from here. So, glad he is okay. That's
when you're a young player and you hit a veteran defender hits you. It's like, welcome to the Major Arena Soccer League. I'm kind of curious to see. Falsoni had scored a lot of goals in college. University of Illinois Springfield. It's just making that adjustment to the indoor game. Usually, the third season is your breakout season. So, I think this coaching staff's going to be patient with him, and hopefully Ambush fans will too, because he has the talent.
Under 12 to play in this first half. Will Eske, he'll leave it for Williamson. Williamson forward to Duduka. Duduka flicks it back to Eske. Wall pass, looking for Duduka. Couldn't catch up with that. Torrealba blocked by Stankovic. Wall pass out to Dirtle, and it comes to Eske instead. On back to Paulo. Comets will be on the road next weekend. 2 games next weekend, just like this weekend, back-to-back. They'll be in Baltimore on Saturday, and then on Sunday they'll be in Utica.
It's not quite like this weekend. This weekend they got to play 1 game at home. That is going to be a grind.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
You play Saturday night in Baltimore and then a Sunday afternoon in Utica. It's not like they're right next door to each other.
No, and wall pass here into the middle, kicked out of bounds. And Eric, I mean, with that series next weekend, I don't know how many hours of sleep that those guys are going to get. I mean, they may get in Baltimore at 6 o'clock in the morning and then try to sleep until the game, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Do what you have to do, Nick.
I mean, here's a restart. That one off the crossbar from the top of the arc. Torrealba will try it again.
He's a good player.
Eske back to Torrealba once again, blocked by Pino. Garza shielding away Torrealba. Comets clear it out, held in by Briggs. Here's Michaud. Michaud leaves it for Larson Rogers. Back to Briggs. Now Eske. St. Louis still out shooting the Comets, 9-8 so far, 10-12 left to play in the first half. The left back, and that one's O'Keefe. O'Keefe trying to get past Garza, and Garza wins the ball, turns and lifts it back towards St. Louis side of the field, and then climbs on top of the dasher boards and out of bounds.
Get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams by following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram and MASL Arena on X.
2-0, Kansas City over St. Louis on goals by Zach Reget and Rian Marques. Next weekend, actually the Ambush are going to be off next weekend. They won't be back in action until they host Milwaukee on Sunday, December 14th.
And that's good for some of their players who hopefully will get healthier.
Yeah. Here comes Anderaos chasing the yellow miter ball into the corner. He flicks it back for Reget. Reget goes off the boards. It rolls through the area and picked up by Togba.
Break if they see it right here, 3-on-1.
Larson Rogers leaves it for Chacunte.
He's going to regret that because they had a 3-on-1, 3-on-2 and slowed it down.
Tristan Austin from Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Front and center for Togba. Togba holding it, now over to Williamson. Down to the corner, here's a shot fired, and that one blocked by the Comets.
So it's defense first. It's a Stefan Stokic coach team, so you see forwards even getting blocks on those long shots. Ramon Palmer there, so the block totals keep increasing, Nick. Wide open.
Drouet got space, sends one in there. That one blocked, but deflection over to Eske. Stepped over it a few times. That one way off the mark. Comets trying to clear. St. Louis holds it in. Coming up on 8 minutes to play here in the first half. 2-0 KC. Torrealba shoots. That one wide to the right.
He has no fear of shooting either. Torrealba, he'll shoot from everywhere. Got a goal last night, his Ambush debut. Take a look here.
Yep.
Just a bit wide, but he knew what he was looking for. Far corner.
And the rebound touched out of bounds by Holloman. Here's Williamson with a drive, and Holloman gets the block.
And that was on target too.
DeBray Holloman's already got a couple of blocks in this game. Came into the game with 80 during his career. Off the boards, Henry Ramirez walking it in, and he says, oh my.
The Waller was there, the scorer, not so much.
And that's going to lead us to a timeout on the field. 7:46 left to play in the first half. Kansas City has come alive. They lead it by a score of 2-0.
7:46 here in the second at Cable Dahmer Arena on Silverstein I Centers Field. The Comets are up 2 goals from Zach Reget and Rian Marques. This is a Missouri matchup not to be missed. The I-70 rivalry heats things up here at the Cable Dahmer Arena. Nick, Eric, what are you seeing up top?
I'm seeing money fall from the rafters, Lux.
I mean, you got to get out to a Comets game, you know what I mean? Might walk up with some money in your pocket.
Or something coming from the rafters.
Hey, got a shout out here from Commissioner Tozer. He sends a note that he'd like me to share with everyone on behalf of Shep, JP, John, everyone at the league office, and myself. We want to wish all of you and all the listeners a very happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Commissioner Tozer. Great to hear from you. And great to have everyone here on this Thanksgiving holiday weekend as we kick off yet another exciting season of indoor soccer across the country.
And memory serves me correctly, the last time we saw Commissioner Tozer here, he was bringing in an ownership group interested in seeing how Kansas City does it, and that group has been awarded a franchise, expansion franchise in Sacramento. So we got to meet members of that ownership group, got to talk to the commish. Sacramento has some experience with indoor soccer, including in the Continental Indoor Soccer League, the Sacramento Knights.
That's right.
You guys from Kansas City played there for a while?
I think John Perry played there.
John Perry played there for sure. I think Ian Frazier played there too.
I think you're right. It was a shot by O'Keefe that went just wide to the left. Comets tried to clear it, and O'Keefe got it back for the ambush. Kansas City playing without several players tonight. Notably their team captain.
Yeah, definitely the team captain.
Go ahead, Eric.
Nacho Flores. Subscribe today to MASL TV on YouTube. You'll find game rebroadcast, MASL shows, highlights, and more.
So let me give you a list here. So Rian operates here. I'll give you that list in just 1 second. Marques, with the Comets leading 2-0, lays it off for Ramirez. Henry Ramirez from Costa Mesa, California. Played it to Rian and then on back to Mijatovic. Right side Sosa, under 7 to play in the first half. Neto Francis, Acosta, Nacho Flores, Marcel Berry, Mikey Lennis, all out tonight for various reasons. Here's Chacunte. Shot Torrealba. That one wide to the left. It's a pretty nifty shot there. Now Souza comes back the other way.
Good tackle. Good tackle.
Clean tackle there by
Jeff Michaud.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was Michaud. Torrealba again shoots. Boy, he has never
no fear, right?
He's never seen a shot that he didn't like.
You absolutely like to see it, especially a younger player coming into a new system. Let's take a look at the replay here. Marques, one hand push, simple foul.
Ball Jacks, located in the heart of the entertainment district in North Kansas City since 1948. Proud sponsor of the Kansas City Comets.
Under 6 to play. Ejimadu.
Thinks he's a goalie for Empire.
Yeah. I thought last night in California, I thought Orozco had gotten that goal.
Here goes Ejimadu. He's
Yeah.
like, sure, I get another assist. Not quite. Got an assist last night throwing it, but Orozco got the game-winning assist in overtime. First team to win on the road in Front Wave Arena. Congratulations to the Empire Strikers.
No kidding.
Year 2 of Obasi ball, off to a good start.
SK on the half line, trailing by 2. This year, the top 6 teams will qualify for the Ron Newman Cup playoffs.
We got to talk about the format because that
Yeah.
absolutely, where you finish the regular season, definitely impacts how fresh you're going to be going into the playoffs, and we'll talk about that.
Bet. Ejimadu sending one into the corner for Rian Marques. Perfect. Played it perfectly off the bounce. The near side looking for Stankovic. Kicked out of bounds. And it'll go to Kansas City. Falsoni, the guilty party. Here's Lacia Tetsane. In the corner to Marques. Marques to Zach Reget. Reget shoots and scores! Zach's got the brace in the first half. Kansas City leads it 3-0.
Take a look on the. We talked about this last season. When you get Marques and Reget on the field, it creates some challenges defensively. So he makes the run in. Got a really fortunate bounce there. Take another look at it here. Literally nothing that Paulo can do. Deflection in. But you know what they say in indoor soccer? Every goal counts, right? Reget celebration.
Little whirling dervish there in the corner. Zach Reget in the last year of his contract with Kansas City. And the Comets.
Are you saying that as just a statement of fact or a statement of getting other teams excited?
Well, if he keeps going at the rate that he's going now, there'll be a lot of teams interested in the services of Zach Reget. I mean, he is one of the top 5 players in the league, no doubt.
There was some talk this past week about Rian Marques as a potential MVP candidate. The way that Reget started this weekend, let's not forget about him.
Yeah.
4 goals already in 2 games.
Vandegrift to Ramon. That one went through Ramon and Christian Briggs' legs. Paulo back out to Christian Briggs. Comets will come with some pressure. Here's Garza. Briggs plays it to the half line. And it's touched there by Tetsane. St. Louis got it back and played it forward for Daduka. Bounces out of bounds. That'll go off of the Comets and stay with the ambush.
The intrepid professor wanted our listeners or viewers to know that there were a few other Kansas City players who played in Sacramento. Mike Dowler, former Comets goalie.
Oh, yeah.
Larry Julius, the shootout specialist for the Kansas City Attack, and the one and the only Kia who was here for the anniversary celebration a few years back.
Yes.
They all played for Sacramento.
Nice. Very nice. Hello, Professor. Good to hear from you again.
He was loading me up last night with facts and figures while I was, he knew I was watching the game, so it's like I got Eric's attention.
Williamson with a drive. That one may have been blocked twice by two Comet players and then deflected out.
I was talking to Williamson, so he was a midseason trade from Milwaukee last season and made a huge difference for St. Louis. I'm like, what is it with this snow that you got coming to St. Louis? He's like, yeah, I'm from Buffalo. This doesn't bother him.
No. Michaud. Under 3 to play in the first half. Comets lead 3-0. Daduka turns and then blocked by Vandegrift again. Williamson trots back, retrieves the yellow miter ball, rolls it forward to O'Keefe. O'Keefe sprints into the left wing corner. And the ball into the middle of the box, cleared away by Kansas City. St. Louis will control once again. Lifted into the corner. Ejimadu comes off his line to head it away.
Did a good job getting it off the boards and not drawing a top of the arc restart.
Shot, try to split the defense. Kansas City knocks it to the half line. Williamson plays it forward to Axel Chiconte. Williamson on over to Keaton Woods. Now back to Williamson. 1:42 to play in the first half. Coming up at halftime, we will talk with El Capitan, Nacho Flores, who is not playing tonight. We'll get to hear
his journey back from retirement, right?
Yeah, we get to find out why he came back. So we'll check in with the team captain coming up at halftime. Also do some first half highlights, and we will take you around the MASL in 5 minutes.
He has a future as an announcer. We saw him practice a bit at the world famous Kansas City Soccer Dome the other day. He's really good.
He is very good. Tetsane with some nifty footwork to avoid a trio of white jerseys. And the Comets control. Henry Ramirez moving to his right. Henry uncorks one from downtown. That one saved by Paulo. It was deflected on the way in. Under a minute to play in the first half. Tristan Austin will play it back to Paulo.
Tristan Austin thought he had a goal last night. Vandegrift cleared it off the line, and I know Tristan Austin's dad is watching once again. Former indoor player in his own right in the CISL.
Christian Briggs into the corner, kicked away by Kansas City. 25 seconds left. Pino, one hop off the blue turf and then out of bounds.
I'd love to see St. Louis bring Paulo up here. 21 seconds, you're down 3-0. Not going to be.
Nope. He's staying back. Eske. That one to Larson Rogers, who still has the ball. Out wide to the left. 7 seconds left. Williamson off the boards. 4 seconds. Comets kick it away. That should do it for the first half. There's the horn. And that's it. The Comets shut out St. Louis in the first half, and they lead it 3-0. 2 goals by Zach Reget, 1 by Rian Marques, and Kansas City leads 3-0.
MASLsoccer.com is your home for everything Major Arena Soccer League. All the latest news, leaderboards, highlights, and more. And speaking of league news, Nick Vassos, big news about the playoff format for this year and how that might affect how teams play down the stretch, because 6 teams will qualify, as you mentioned early on. If you're a 1 seed or a 2 seed, you get a first round bye, which would be really helpful. So 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5, and then 1 and 2 have home field advantage in that next round. But You know, you may think it's too early in the year to start worrying about playoff position, but in an 8-team league, you start dropping points in November and December, you've got a long road to haul to try to catch up points later in the year, and you don't want to be team 7 and 8.
That is a good point. It's going to be even more difficult to try to make up points if you're dropping them early on in the season. And one thing that'll make all fans happy is that each team gets to play at their home arena.
Yes.
Instead of a neutral site location like we had last year.
That you spent some quality time at this past year.
Yeah.
Road trip to Front Wave Arena, huh?
It was fun. All right. We're in the Culver's minute right now, so for the next 39 seconds, if the Comets do score, everybody's going home with a Butterburger.
They almost did this last year.
Yeah, they did.
It's like 1 second away.
So everybody giving it their all from the stands, and we still have a real good crowd here in the house. It's loud. Comets lead 3-0. 14 seconds left.
Oh, good turn.
Anderaos leaves it for Eske, who's looking for Daduka. But the Comets able to knock that one free, and St. Louis trying to hold on to the ball. Battling in there is Tetsane with the Comets. He sends it back to Pino. And Culver's dodges another bullet. Here's Henry Ramirez walking it in. He shoots just above the crossbar for O. Henry.
Eske, in other situations, that would have been an assist because he was trucking on goal, laid off the pass. Pino got a leg out. Maybe underrated. I know Pino was second team all-league last year, but he's just brought so much dependence. I mean, maybe he's a dependent defender. I guess this is what I'm trying to say. You can count on him in clutch situations, and I think the Comets missed that in years past.
Marquez is battling with Togba, and then Souza comes out with it. Now Vandegrift forward to Holloman. Holloman plays it back to Chad Vandegrift. Speaking of dependable, Joseph Reyna is here in the house.
Joseph Reyna is quite the guy. So he has been on the road this weekend in Missouri. Oh, good save.
Yeah. Paulo turns Souza's drive aside.
So you might know him from MASL Stats, MASL social media, and he was in St. Louis last night following the Comets. He's here in Cable Dahmer Arena following the ambush, so look for a social media profile. What it's like to play on the road in the MASL.
He also writes frequently about the MASL. You can see his work on MASLsoccer.com.
So he introduced some new next-gen stats, including one, the Moxie. He said he's going to let some games play, so maybe in January he'll be posting updates in terms of how MASL teams are faring in these new next-gen categories, so watch out for that too.
Jacob Garza flying around, knocking the ball free. Garza battling with two players, Keaton Woods, and then Garza got it back. Long shot, comes off to the Comets, and fighting forward is Larson Rogers.
He's been good with the ball in his feet.
Sure has. He'll play it near side Christian Briggs. Briggs on back to Michaud. 11:42 to play in the third. Kansas City leading 3-0. St. Louis still out shooting the Comets 16-11. O'Keefe back to Briggs. Pinballs around off of Holloman. One of the players. Holloman shaking up a little bit on that one. Holloman's going to trot off the field. And the ball will be given to Kansas City.
I want to give a birthday shout out to somebody who played goalkeeper both in Kansas City and St. Louis. That's Ed Gedemeyer.
Oh, yeah.
Born in St. Louis, played for both teams, as many players did back in the MISL era.
Happy birthday, Ed.
Was a tandem with Alan Mayer here in Kansas City for a few years.
Also a birthday shout out to Donna from Pit Stop Barbecue, the official catering company of the Kansas City Comets.
Man, dinner was good today, wasn't it?
Sure was. Thank you, Donna. And we also want to say happy birthday to Director of Operations here at Cable Dahmer Arena, Kevin Schulmeister.
Kevin the man.
Yeah, Kevin helps us out with all of our technical questions and workarounds and all that stuff. He's fantastic, and we wish him all the best on his birthday. Meanwhile, 10:46 to go in the third. Comets leading 3-0. 2 goals by Reget, 1 by Rian. Torrealba on the half line. He'll pass this time up to Robert Williamson. Yeah, pass. I said that. All kicked all the way back by Kansas City to the corner.
Just heard from Baltimore Blast owner Ed Hale, watching the game tonight.
Mr. Hale.
Looking forward to hosting the Comets next Saturday. That'll be the season opener for the Baltimore Blast. He was gracious enough to host me the end of last season. I saw a game there at Baltimore.
Spent some time with Ed in the playoffs last year when his Baltimore Blast were at in Oceanside, Front Wave Arena for the playoffs and the Ron Newman Cup quarters and semis.
Just a nudge. Simple foul. Oh, giveaway.
Oh. And a shot and a goal! St. Louis on the board. It's Torrealba. Comets give it away, and Torrealba
2 goals in 2 games.
makes them pay. It's 3-1.
So there's Mijatovic. Ball back, and Torrealba just stepped in. St. Louis was having a hard time finding anything on goal and just got gifted one, and sometimes that's all it takes. Little miscommunication there between Mijatovic and Palmer, and it's 3-1, and there is hope for the St. Louis Ambush.
I think St. Louis has found themselves a good player in Torrealba.
I do too.
Here's Henry Ramirez dancing on the center circle to Vandegrift and then right back to Henry. Vandegrift will play it forward, looking to Zach Reget in the target. It rebounds out to Tetsane, to Henry. Now Anderaos got some space. Anderaos shoots and buries it. Comets get the 3-goal lead right back. It's Christian Anderaos.
Anderaos says, feed me, and he got fed the ball. His 3rd goal this season. He's had quite the weekend, Nick. Good ball movement. Henry Ramirez looks up, sees Anderaos making the run, takes a dribble, goes top shelf.
Where Grandma keeps the cookies.
Did you get any cookies for Thanksgiving, Nick?
I did. My
What
wife.
flavor?
Chocolate chip.
Oh, those are the best.
Homemade from
Those are
Mrs.
absolute
Vassos.
best.
It's the best.
Anderaos could have had a hat trick last night, and the Comets answered quickly. Just when you thought momentum might be changing, Kansas City came back. 4-1 Comets.
Number 3 on the year for Christian. Now in his 5th season as a member of the Comets. Here's Zach Drouet. He goes Walla. No one there for the scorer.
I know Brian Como.
I was just thinking about him.
He was watching the game last night, and I posted online. I think there ought to be an award for the top Wallace scorer team and top Wallace scorer player in terms of who gets the most all year.
Exactly. I think Brian should award it too.
He should.
I love it.
And you know what the Brian Como Wallace scorer is when you play it to yourself
yes.
off the wall. That's right.
It's the what do they call that? The Como Wallace scorer?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is awesome.
Follow Wallace Score on social media.
Yep.
Walla, WALLA-SCORA. They're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Formerly Twitter X. I'm still breaking the habit.
Yeah, same. Comets are resetting their offense. 8:14 left to play in the third. They lead it 4-1. Tetsane, Mijatovic out there. Mijatovic with the ball. Back in the lineup after having a bit of a hamstring injury. He's moving around pretty good out there. Ejimadu rolls it into the corner for Rian Marques. It winds around the boards into Paulo. Paulo, he'll roll it out to Torrealba. Forward, a long ball for Daduka, and that one over the head and into the breadbasket of Ejimadu. Dirtle, near side Tetsane. Tetsane across the line to Marques. Marques into the corner to Nathan Dirtle. Dirtle, the Columbia, Missouri native, flicks it to the opposite corner, and Ramon Palmer kicks a little bit too high and gets a piece of Robert Williamson. Foul called on Ramon.
Capelli Sport is the official and exclusive preferred uniform and apparel provider of the Major Arena Soccer League. Visit maslsoccer.com to shop the all-new. I'm going to hold that thought.
Oh, Torrey Alba.
Handball.
Oh, blocked off the line.
Handball.
That is going to be a handball
That's a handball.
penalty.
I'll redo that read later, but we talked about Pino and blocks on the line. That was absolutely a handball, and Daduka is going to take this penalty kick.
So unlike a shootout, this penalty kick will be live should he not convert.
There is no doubt about that. Pino went straight to the box.
And once again, Torrey Alba is in the middle of everything. There's the shot. And yep, clear handball off of Pino.
Be curious to see if the Comets, they're not even going to raise the flag here or throw the flag. So it's going to be Daduka against Ejimadu. Daduka, strong shooter.
Daduka with a goal and an assist last night. Approaches the ball and converts on the penalty kick. Daduka, number 2 on the year. And it cuts the Comets' lead in half.
Take a look at from the backside. Just straight power.
4-2 is our score. And we have an official timeout on the field. Comets have the ball. They lead by 2. Kansas City trying to sweep the weekend series with St. Louis.
And I can guarantee you that Coach Stokic is not happy because he played the type of game they did in the first half. Shutout, 3 goals, everything's looking good. And then if things don't happen the way you would like on the defensive third, and all of a sudden it's a 4-2 game, and that's not the way he dialed it up.
Ejimadu into the corner for Reget. Reget and Williamson battling. Reget bangs it off the glass, and it goes up and over the glass, out of bounds. So that goes to St. Louis with 6:58 to play in the third.
So last night we heard on the St. Louis broadcast, it was Matthew Rocchio on the play-by-play and Mark Moser, the legendary Mark Moser on color, and they have formally announced that Moser's number 15 was going to go in the rafters at the Family Arena.
Okay, I missed it on the broadcast last night, but when I was listening to him last night, I wondered, are they going to retire his number?
February 7th. He said he was honored.
Well deserved.
Take a look at this. Definitely a foul. Great opportunity here for St. Louis, and if they get a third, it's going to be a lot of nervous energy here at Cable Dahmer Arena.
Here comes Daduka. They'll pass it straight to Mashad. Out front and center, back to Daduka. Ramirez has got a mark on Daduka. He'll play it near side Torrey Alba. Vandegrift blocks it right back to Torrey Alba. Ball pinballing around, back to Torrey Alba. He sends it to Eske. Will Eske, the team captain, over to Daduka. Into the corner for Mashad, off the boards. Christian Briggs couldn't track down the ball off the boards.
Oh, giveaway
now
again.
Garza gives it away to Torrey Alba, but Garza hustling to get the ball back. Now Eske picks up the loose ball. He rolled over the top of that one. Torrey Alba once again there turns and fires, and that one deflects off of a Comets player and goes out of bounds.
That was on target too. Great turn by Torrey Alba. He's been impressive this weekend.
Mijatovic is shaken up a little bit. He goes down. That one looks like it might have clipped Mijatovic in the head. He'll go off and Tetsane will come on. Daduka. That one blocked again by the Comets. Christian Briggs with the rebound, back to Paulo. 5:38 to play in the third. Comets lead by 2. Mashad
Foul on Garza. Really unnecessary, too, and a good opportunity here on the near side for St. Louis.
Ryan Sigich, one of our 2 referees here, he and Brian Miller. Ryan Sigich, the director of officials for the Major Arena Soccer League. He is in his 25th season. Brian Miller in his 12th year. Torrealba runs over the ball. Michaud is there. Michaud to Daduka, blocked by Ramirez of the Comets, out of bounds. It'll stay with St. Louis.
So on the broadcast last night, Rocchio and Moser mentioned that it was the 1995 Ambush is the only professional soccer championship won in St. Louis. It's going to lead me to my trivia question for you, Nick Vassos. I want to see if you're up for it. We'll get it at the next stop and play.
Okay. Torrealba goes across the field for Michaud, forward to Daduka. Back to Williamson. St. Louis has arguably the most talent on their team out there on the floor right now.
Good step.
Pino steps in front, wins the ball for Kansas City.
Oh, good takeaway, too.
And then Tizani's pass is picked off by St. Louis, and they win it right back. Under 5 to play in the third. Now Anderaos takes it away from the ambush. And the Comets in St. Louis continuing to trade possessions in the midfield area. You going to ask me who St. Louis beat in the finals?
No, because you know the answer to that question.
I
I'm
do.
going to give you a different question.
Okay. I think it might have been the only time in that championship. I think it was the 2 teams involved in that championship have not been to a finals since or before.
I think that may be correct.
Do you out there, folks, know what club I'm talking about? Who did St. Louis beat to win their championship in 95-96 or 94-95?
At Nick Vassos on social media. You know your answer.
Paulo kicks it away from his goal out to the half line. That is where Larson Rogers and Tetsane are battling, and Lucia gets called for the foul. Correction, that was Mario Falsoni.
This quarter has turned out better for the ambush. Just, you know, what do we say about that elephant, right? Just one bite at a time. You don't have to score them all at once. Get those opportunities.
3:40 clock continuing to run. Williamson off the glass. It rolls through the box to the far side. Garza is there. He's double teamed.
Once again.
And Togba able to wrestle the ball away. St. Louis with a ton of possession here late in this third.
Every time a Comets defender is there in the corner, immediately there's 2 ambush players. They do not want them getting the ball out of the zone, and they're hoping to get a steal and a quick goal the other way.
Tristan Austin. Now looking for Zach Drouet. Comets able to knock it free. Now who's going to win this 50-50 ball? It's Larson Rogers on back to Austin. Now Zach Drouet. Here comes Rogers. He shoots. Good save by Ed Jamadu. And another drive. That one's saved again. That time it was Austin for a second chance. Souza played that one a little behind Stankovic, and St. Louis gets the ball right back. 2:34 to play in the third. St. Louis with oodles of possession time here in this quarter. Will Eske to Briggs. Briggs will fire it, and that one off of Souza out of bounds. It'll stay with St. Louis.
So here's your question, Nick Vassos.
All
What
right.
is the only U.S. city to have won NASL, MLS, NWSL, and indoor soccer championships?
Let's see here. Did the Kansas City win one on the NASL? Because I know they've won on all the rest of those leagues. I'm going to say Kansas City.
You are correct.
Yes.
So
Who was the NASL winner?
with the Spurs,
Spurs, yes. of
Kansas
course.
City Spurs, they used to battle against the St. Louis Stars, and then clearly MLS Sporting Kansas City has won 2. Former FCKC won 2 in NWSL, and then Comets and Attack have won 3 indoors. So some people might have guessed New York, and New York would be almost correct because, yes, they won in 3 of the leagues.
Off the boards from Torrealba. Boy, it seems like the offense is going through Torrealba more and more as this game goes on.
He's just in a zone in this game. The New York Arrows are based on Long Island, so that's not New York City.
Paulo.
Good play by Paulo.
Clears that one away. Can the Comets get a hold of it? They do. Kansas City looking for maybe a little possession time here before the third quarter expires.
Since I know we have some San Diego Sockers fans watching. The New York Cosmos took the San Diego Sockers to the NASL Indoor Championship in 1984, but the Sockers won that one. So it's as close as New York's gotten to running them all.
Under a minute to play here in the third.
And I did this one without the professor's help, Nick.
I know, you're just getting warmed up, big guy.
That's first game. Got 11 more to go.
32 seconds left. 4-2 KC. Mijatovic rolls it forward for Pino. Pino centers it in for either Palmer or Dirtle. Dirtle goes off the boards.
Good play by Williamson to screen the Wallace Scora.
14 seconds left. Pino. Ball loose. Shot. Goal! Nathan Dirtle with a blistering shot to the upper right-hand corner. Kansas City by 3.
Sometimes you just have to be in the right place. Nathan Dirtle, ball just trickles through the top of the box, and there he is. Ball bounced off Williamson. He hit that with laces, with power, top shelf. Nothing Paulo could do. Well struck. 5-2 Comets.
And there are 9 seconds left.
And one of the resident Kansas City historian, Mike Kuhn, wrote Nick Vassos on X and said that St. Louis beat Harrisburg in that series, and that would be correct.
Nice job, Mike. Nice job. All right, that's it for the 4.
And get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams by following MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram and MASL Arena on X. And once again, Nick says the MASL social media team, Jack Williams, posting a ton of videos during games. So if you happen to miss a game, head over to MASL social media, and clip by clip, you will see goals from games all throughout the league, all throughout the season. Going to be a great season, 2025-26, a lot to look forward to.
And MASLsoccer.com, they post all those clips on the too. So if for some reason you can't come out to either watch a game or online, you can catch up really quickly by going to MASLsoccer.com.
And mention Joseph Reyna, he's in the tan sweatshirt. He's doing the behind the scenes. Here's a day in the life of a team on the road. He showed up in the booth here for a little bit. He's down chatting with Ambush players. More content, more content, more content. Speaking of more content, the greatest member of our broadcast team, Lux St. Lou, has launched a new podcast, which is terrific. Episode 1, Turf Talk with Amanda the Panda Philemon from the Empire Strikers broadcast team. So we even got a shout out on episode 1. It's terrific. It's on Spotify. It's called Turf Talk. Give it a listen. And they're doing just like games, a 4-quarter format on their podcast.
I love it. Turf Talk with Lux and Panda on Spotify. I will. I'll plug that in on my next walk when I'm taking my dogs to Floofy Town.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. We are underway here in the 4th and final frame. Comets take a 3-goal lead into this last quarter. And St. Louis, which has, right out front. Now another one. Shot, goal! This is another one by Torrealba.
Right place, right time, huh?
That's his second on the night, his third of the season. And St. Louis is within 2.
So Comets tried to clear. Mijatovic tried to clear, didn't get all of it, and ball trickled through the box, and Torrealba, right place, right time. You know, it doesn't matter how pretty the shot is or whether the play was set up in a way to be perfectly executed. All it matters is the ball goes in the goal, and it's 5-3. Once again, Ambush trying to make a comeback.
Stankovic knocked it away from Axel Ciconti. They had a quick 3-on-2, but the door slammed quickly. Comets will work it across the line slowly. Up to Zach Reget, who's bumped from behind by Drouet, and a foul called on Zach.
You know,
Zach Drouet.
There were a lot of fans over the last few years making comments about Frank Tayu's goals and whether they're legitimate or not. They're goals, right?
They're goals. Every goal's legitimate.
They're goals.
Yeah. If it crosses the line and goes in, it's a goal.
Doesn't matter if it deflects off a defender. It's still a goal. It still counts, and one team's going to win, one team's going to lose. I'd rather, as a fan, I'd rather be supporting the team that wins.
No pictures on the scoreboard, just numbers. Mijatovic from downtown. That one took a short hop, and Paulo scooped it up perfectly. Paulo winds up and tosses one long. Touched by O'Keefe. Marques gets a touch. And now the battle for the ball, and Tetsane comes out with it. Lucia over to Zach, trying to flick it back to Lucia. Tetsane gets the ball back, combs it over a couple of times. Now Mijatovic with a touch into the middle. Reget shoots, and that one above the crossbar. Reget a hitter, and Paulo slams the door. Now a counter back the other way. And Falsone kicks it high into the corner. He and Sosa give chase. Falsone.
And they've got two guys backdoor. Didn't see him, brought the ball back. But Comets a couple times last year in transition would get lost defending, and opportunities have been there for St. Louis.
St. Louis has really been going off the boards here in the last quarter and a half. Here's Michaud. Michaud forward to Deduca. Deduca to Tristan. Correction, that's Larson Rogers.
Good first step.
He moves to his left. He shoots. That one blocked by Tetsane. Souza comes out with it, and a foul called on St. Louis.
What a start to the season for Tetsane as a defender. He got pulled back from midfield to defense last year and really stepping into that position. Having a left-footed potential goal-scoring defender who can actually defend, that's huge.
And can still attack.
That's a two-way player.
Yep. Up the field quickly to Zach Reget. Reget looking far post to Holloman. And that one touched out of bounds by the Ambush. It'll stay with the Comets. 12:26 to play. Comets lead by 2. Palmer back to Pino. Pino draws it back and then sends it up to Zach Reget. Reget plays it forward to Palmer. Palmer tried to deflect it over to Dirtle. That one broken up by the Ambush. Will Eske comes out with it. Here's Eske again coming up right down Main Street. Eske shoots. Good block by Holloman. Eske goes down. Debray Holloman with the foul.
And guess who's in the house? His dad, LeBaron Holloman.
LeBaron!
Great to
one of my favorite players of all time.
Yep.
Played Edmonton, Kansas City.
Wichita.
Yeah. Great defender during his day. Tough as nails. Here's Torrealba again. Torrealba shoots, and that one wide. Zach Drouet out with the rebound. Popped straight up into the air. Williamson heads it back, but first a foul called on the Ambush. That's going to go against Zach Drouet.
You mentioned earlier let's take a look at this replay. Battle for the ball. Little nudge.
Yep, got his shoulder into it.
Mentioned commissioner watching. Former Milwaukee weight player just was announced as an inductee to the 2026 class of the National Soccer Hall of Fame. We'll talk more about that. A little break in the action.
All right. Henry Ramirez with it in front of the Ambush bench. Touches it over to Souza. Souza tried to give and go with Ramirez, and then Souza got tangled up with Drouet. And a foul called against St. Louis. Souza shaking up on the play.
Holding onto his knee.
That's not good.
Comets fans don't want to see that.
Souza had problems with his knee last year, and that's the last thing the Comets need, is for Souza to have any more problems with his knees. He missed a lot of time last year out because of injury.
Take a look at this here. Couldn't tell if that was just a knee-to-knee collision. Those things happen in the indoor game.
Hopefully it's just one of those knocks and it's not a soft tissue injury. Here's Ramirez.
Foul.
Fouled by Tristan Austin.
So the National Soccer Hall of Fame mentioned or announced that 2 indoor legends are joining the class. One is Kevin Crowe, the great defender of the San Diego Sockers, the legendary defender, and Tony Sana, former Chicago Power Milwaukee Wave player. Keith Tozer knows a little bit about him, and congratulations to both of them.
That's awesome. Good to see those guys getting some recognition. Under 11 to play, here's Marques. Rian double team. Nifty move to get away from 2. Right back to Rian. Shoot, score! Wow, what a play! Rian Marques rubbed those hands. He and Henry Ramirez working together hand in glove. Kansas City leads 6-3.
So what do you do defensively when you have both Zach Reget and Rian Marques to have to compete against on a given night? Which defender do you put on one? Which of your top defenders you put on another? This is a give and go. Give and go past Williamson, and he went low. Nothing Paulo could do. Paulo tried to cover the near post. Marques went back post at 6-3 Comets, and every time the ambush looked like they're getting back in the game, the Comets score a goal. And so it's going to be really important for St. Louis to get one as we head slowly towards the media timeout.
So Ramirez the assist. Rian Marques his second on the night.
Nutmeg.
Here's Anderaos. Comets back on offense. Anderaos flicks it to Stankovic. Stankovic went down, and it bounces into Paulo. Paulo lifts one, floats one high to the center circle. That one headed out of bounds off of Pino. Pretty good crowd here on this Thanksgiving weekend. Eric, what do we got in the house?
We have 4,360 for opening day, and what we're hearing from Comets front office member Brian Roth is they're expecting over 5,000 for that December 12th game against what I consider their biggest rival, the Milwaukee Wave.
And we were talking with some members of the front office and some people that we think know a lot about this game, the players, each team, and they were saying to themselves, don't you sleep on the Milwaukee Wave.
Why would you ever sleep on the Milwaukee Wave?
I don't know why.
It's just a transition. They had, some people would say, the best coach in the league with Giuliano Olivero. I joke with Stefan Stokic. I'm like, now maybe I'll like you now that Jules is gone. But Marcio Leite comes in as coach. We'll see if they go 6 attacker in like the third quarter this year with Leite. But they brought in some good young players, and they've got a great core there. And they came really close to the MASL championship.
Just complete heartbreak last year. They lost in overtime to Chihuahua.
And had some grumbling about the sequence at the end of the game.
Absolutely. It was controversial for sure. There's no doubt about it. And there'll be some, for Milwaukee, there'll be some coaching questions. I mean, how's Marcio going to, adapt to his coaching role at having ever played with many of those players?
We saw this here in Kansas City with Stokic. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe it's less of an issue for the coach, but more for the players to the relationship changing.
Ryan Sigic marking off the distance. Ramon Palmer stands behind the ball for Kansas City. Palmer plays it back to Tetsane. Swing it near side for Pino. Comets leading 6-3, 9:16 to play in the game. This is the only game in the MASL tonight.
That was a good ball in.
Zach Reget had it. Pino trying to chase it down. And Tetsane and Pino. And Tetsane turns, fires it. That one out of bounds off Robert Williamson of St. Louis. So the Comets will hang on. Eric?
Catch MASL Monday every Monday night on MASL TV on YouTube and CBS Sports Golazo Network. Alex Bashjamansky and Phil Lavanco are joined each week by special guests from across the league to recap the weekend's games and discuss the league's hot topics. And thank you, Phil, for clipping the read in the first half and posting it on social media. We appreciate the love. I think it was the part about them being the top broadcasting duo in the league that he wanted everybody to know about.
Yes, and he wanted some audio and visual proof as well, right?
That's right.
That's the way Phil rolls. And we love him for it.
I think I can announce here, I don't know if it's a state secret, Phil's going to be joining my 10 for 10 show as producer coming up in January.
Excellent.
So we're going to try a few different wrinkles
Okay.
when we bring that show back on second half this season.
It's been a really good series, Eric. I commend you. And
Well, you were on it.
yeah,
so
well, I know. I mean, that was the. But I mean, you've talked to a lot of people and about a lot of topics and provide a lot of good insight into the game that we don't normally get.
Oh, good play by
Holloman.
SK. Almost got himself a goal there.
Picked up by O'Keefe. Driven in and then knocked back out. Zach Reget picks it up. Reget slides it over to Dirtle. Nathan surveying the field. He shoots. That one blocked by Deduca. All the way back to Henry Ramirez. Vandegrift goes off. Pino comes on. Here's Guerrero. Across the line. He'll play it into the corner. Off the boards. Paulo sends it out wide. Now driven
that was
in.
going on target, and Dirtle got in the way of that shot.
Dirtle's okay. And this is a timeout on the field. So let's take a break. 7:24 left to play in the game. Kansas City and St. Louis have traded goals so far here in this final frame.
Back here at the Cable Dahmer Arena, we want to invite you to join us for our next home game, Friday, December 12th, as the Kansas City Comets welcome the Milwaukee Wave into the Dom. We have 7 minutes and 24 seconds left in this Missouri matchup between the St. Louis Ambush and the Comets. 6-3, Comets on top so far. Nick and Eric, let's bring this home.
All right, sounds good. Lux, thank you so much. Lux St. Lou down there on Silverstein Ice Center's field. Robert Williamson plays it forward. Pino and Chacunte tangled up. Pino going to be called for the foul. Pino looks over at Ryan Sigich with a wry smile.
So we saw St. Louis in a somewhat similar situation last night. Eventually play Paulo in that Empire advanced goalie six attacker situation. We'll see if they try to get a goal here first before moving him up the field.
St. Louis operating just inside the Comet half line. Right side it goes to Deduca. Pulls it back a few times, gets tripped up by Mijatovic, and a foul called on the Comets.
Those are two big guys going after each other.
Mijatovic, 6'4", 230 pounds. Deduca about the same.
Deduca's been at the gym. He is leaner, meaner.
Yeah.
Ready to score some goals this season.
Michaud will trigger the restart for the Ambush. Over to Deduca, hits it first time. Mijatovic blocked it out of bounds. Under 7 to play now. Deduca front and center for SK. Torrey Alba on the left. He's got a pair of goals tonight. Three on the season for Torrey Alba. Here come the Comets on the breakaway. Anderaos shoots, and Christian, he's got the brace for the second game in a row. Anderaos goes for glory and gets it.
Making friends in the stands. Two goals from Reget, 2 goals from Marques, and 2 goals from Anderaos. And look at the run. And once again, assist from Lucas Souza. And just look at the pace downfield. Got Paulo to commit near post, dinked it off the side of his foot there, far post. It's 7-3. This scoreline looks vaguely familiar, Nick Vassos.
Sure does.
What a start to the season for Anderaos. You know, allegedly a defensive runner, playing more in midfield, and you know,
maybe he's found a new spot.
Yep.
You know. Souza comes up with at least his 2nd assist on the night. Call that his 3rd of the year for Lucas Souza. Williamson has it. The Comets have their biggest lead of the game. They give it away. Here's Vandergriff. Vandergriff just lets it roll back towards St. Louis side of the field.
I think it's Paulo time right here. You have nothing to lose.
And here he comes. Paulo is now become an attacker on offense.
We need to see more of this in the MASL, Nick.
Now that's Togba. Axel Chiconte. Swing it near side for Paulo. St. Louis working it around the perimeter. Togba tries to dart in. Dirtle steps and cuts his forward progress. Paulo. Now to Williamson.
With goalkeepers playing 6 attacker. Empire went super power play last night. Just throw it all up there. Let's see what happens.
Togba against Dirtle. Togba shoots, goes off the boards. That one no good. Kansas City trying to knock it free. Picked up, touched by Zach. Zach sends it forward. Tetsane chasing it there, but Paulo able to get it back from Falsone.
Ooh.
My goodness.
Absolutely drilled by Reget, too.
Oh, my goodness. Thank goodness Sosa's okay. Here's Reget.
Oh, left it in front of Tetsane.
Tetsane. Tetsane winds up. Oh, he goes far post, but it bounces in. Oh, my goodness. Stankovic scored it. He didn't even know it. How about that?
They all count. They all count. Stankovic is like,
he's that good. He didn't even know he scored. Stankovic opens his account with the Comets, and Kansas City leads 8-3. Watch this, Eric.
Reget is going to lead Tetsane. Tetsane goes far post. How did that happen? Good things happen when you make back post runs. And look at that. The ball actually went behind him. It sort of like clicked his back of his heel in.
I think Stankovic thought that Tetsane was just going to take a rip at it. Instead, Tetsane played it over, and Stankovic, yeah, I'll take it. So will the Comets. 8-3 is our score.
And here's the thing. Coach Stokic is not going to be totally pleased with how this game turned out. Don't let the scoreline fool you. The team sets a goal. They don't want to give up more than 3 goals a game, but they're probably going to think it should have been 1 or 2 against rather than 3. And there's absolutely things they're going to work on this week before that East Coast swing to Baltimore and Utica, because you got to dress 16. They got to be able to play both games, and it's going to be a tough task against 2 fresh teams.
Tough decision for Stokic. Well, I mean, what would you do? You've got, you've got Marcel Berry, who's back from an Achilles tear from a season ago, and coming into this season, it's been no secret that they are going to practice load management on Marcel. They do not want to overwork him and risk him getting injured again. So do you take Marcel on this trip, or do you leave him back at home on this next trip coming up this weekend?
Well, the other issue is, and maybe explaining why Nacho didn't dress tonight, you have him coming back from retirement, and guys getting into game shape.
Here's Rian with some open space. Marques moving to his left, looking far post for Pino. Broken up by the ambush. Torrealba working the other way. He'll uncork one. And a goal kick coming up for Ejimadu.
The one thing I can say a couple things for certain. Ejimadu will be there on the trip. Likely will play both games. You'll see Reget, you'll see Vandegrift. I think there's some decisions that need to be made. Don Francis got a rest today. Will he be good to go for 2? Perhaps.
Yep.
Barry, you said they're trying to avoid back-to-back games with him, so that's going to be a tough call. And DeBray got a spot shift last night. He played a full shift with Nacho's absence today. DeBray's looked solid defensively, and so maybe it's the same 4 defenders they have tonight going on the trip. They're going to have to make some choices. And this obviously doesn't account for any injuries that might ensue in training this week.
For sure.
Disagree with the call tonight? You might just see it on the MASL's most controversial show under review with Phil Levanco and the man who's here, MASL head referee Ryan Sigich. Catch it every Friday on YouTube. They really haven't had too much to deal with. They had the handball on Pino, which led to a penalty kick. That was very easy, but it's been a fairly penalty-free game otherwise.
2:24 to play in the game. 8-3 KC over St. Louis. The restart in the left wing corner. Daduka shoots. That one off the corner of the post.
Does still count as ding-dong?
It still counts as a ding-dong off the post. Rattle the cage. SK forward, back to Daduka. Daduka runs into Dirtle. Dirtle is out with it for KC. Plays it over to Palmer. Palmer goes off the boards looking for Dirtle running in. SK is there to pick it up for the ambush, up to Michaud. Michaud back to SK, a little bit too hard on the pass. Right to the Comets, and Guerrero Pino tried to play it up to Reget. Kicked back towards the other half of the field. And both teams trading possession here in the final couple of minutes of this one. Kansas City is going to improve on the season to 2-0. St. Louis is going to fall to 0-2. St. Louis will have a couple of weeks to work some stuff out before they're back in action.
Including tonight, Comets have won 12 of the last 15 games against the ambush. Comets have found their number, and it used to be a little bit more even a few years back, back and forth, and not quite so much in the last couple seasons.
Comets were nearly perfect against the ambush last year.
They lost one in overtime here, and St. Louis deserved to win that game for sure.
Last minute of the game. Who's your player of the game, Eric?
Well, so you've got 3 guys with 2 goals, right?
Yep.
I think the tiebreaker goes to Reget because his mom's here. Drove all the way through inclement weather conditions from Kenosha, Wisconsin. He's got the whole crew. That should tilt the balance there. But Marques has been terrific. Another great game from Anderaos. And he's not going to get a lot of credit for this, but Tetsane on defense, he's been really impressive this season.
And how about that guy, Philip Ejimadu?
3.00 goals against average in 2 games. That's
really impressive. Good. That's it. That's the horn. Comets win. Final score 8-3. Comets are 2-0. St. Louis is 0-2.